All right, let's get started. All right, hello everyone, good afternoon. Happy day one of Fan Expo. So my name is Dean. I've been going to cons since 2015. Once I get my scarf around, okay. I've been going to cons since 2015. I've been cosplaying since 2015. I've been handling this specific panel since 2019, before COVID. And since I'm a pharmacist, I've gone to health and wellness expos and all that. There's actually one being held right now on the same venue. And I'm gonna actually check that out at some point. But I've been going through all this, going through all the events and all that. So I get to share, some things to make the most out of going to a con. And so you don't pass out, or basically we don't want you to pass out, but how to prevent getting passing out. Okay, so this is just a rough guideline here. So there's gonna be a lot of planning going on when you go to cons. A lot of you have known that already. As a show of hands, who's here has never been to a con before? Oh, quite a lot, wow. It's like more than half. Who has never been to a large con, like maybe more than 5,000 people? Oh, wow. Who has been to a con that has more than 100,000 people?
Wow. How many people does New York Comic Con have?
New York Comic Con has over 200,000. By the way, I'm from New York City. So, that's like, woo, yeah, that's right, that's us. Hopefully we win. sorry to rub it in. we haven't won our championship in decades. We got to get our chance at some point. Okay. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm not a sports person, but I've heard along the way before the panel. But okay, so for those who've never been to a con before, this is the perfect crash course orientation for you, because we're going to talk about a lot of things here. So if you have notes, if you're able to take notes, pen, paper, you can also take pictures of the slides. Just don't share it with anyone without my permission. It's only for your personal use. A disclaimer that I don't have on the slides is, again, this is for educational use. Things can change. There will be some health-related information, mental health-related information. Seek a professional, all right? So planning and preparation. So we're going to talk about transportation. We're going to talk about how to prepare when it comes to putting things in your luggage. All right, deodorant is one of them. Okay, don't forget that. I'm gonna say it over and over again. I'm gonna make your ears bleed. Okay, we're gonna talk about time and money. We will go over budgeting. I will start a little ranting a little bit. Okay, budgeting is very important. Okay, if you make a budget, you have to stick to it. If you make a budget and you don't stick to it, it's just a piece of paper. Okay, or it's just something on your phone. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about also taking care of your health. We're going to talk about etiquette, safety. We network here as well, so how do we do that? We'll go over that. After the con, self-care. Some people get sick after the con. I'm a pharmacist, I can help you with that. Sometimes you get a little sad, you get the con blues, the con crud. We'll go over that. So, when we look for a con, it depends on your comfort zone. Okay, some people like large cons, like me, all right? Some people like smaller cons because it's not as suffocating, so to speak. Some people, when it comes to location, they like to go to cons that are near their house. I live in New York City, so it's not too far. I mean, it's in the middle. So some people like anime cons, some people like, this one's a general con, so some people come here for that. I like health and wellness expos. Some people have steampunk ones, some people have Star Wars ones, and I've seen a Lego one. Furry ones, so many, all right? Is it online or is it physical? I tend to be doing the in-person. We have some online ones, reviews and feedback. And do you have the time and money? We'll talk about that. Registering early, you save money. Are you gonna have some scheduling conflicts? And then we'll talk about budgeting. Cancellations tend to occur. I'll just go through that pretty quickly. It can happen. Most tickets, they're non-refundable. So please be aware of that. All right, most train tickets, most transportation, they're non-refundable unless otherwise stated. if you can always email them if you need any refunds and whatnot. So once you book anything, when it comes to hotels, comes to trains and so on, you have to monitor them. I had an Amtrak train get canceled the Wednesday, 2 days before it was going to leave, and I had to find a backup plan. I had a hotel reservation that actually did not exist, even though it existed when I got the email months prior, and this happened 2 weeks ago at a Days Inn near this convention, and that cost me over $400. So be careful for that. Be careful of that. So how much are you going to spend? So you got to take all of these things into account when you're budgeting. So how much money you have to spend for admission? How much money you spend for transit? So if you're going to stay in a hotel, how much food, the food you're going to eat, unless if you plan your meals, merch and other things. I looked over the prices of the autographs. I think Chevy Chase is over $128. Oh my goodness. I actually took a few pictures on my phone. It was 100, I see 161. Butch Hartman, I think, is 67. And who knows, it could be before tax. All right. And yeah, yes, you have a question? Oh, sorry. All right, using credit cards and cash and debit cards. Who loves credit cards? I love credit cards. Okay, good. Who likes cash? Okay, that's fine. Hide it. Just to be safe, okay? Take a portion each time you get paid. So what I mean is for every paycheck you get, maybe you can put aside a certain amount, or you can put aside a percentage, maybe per paycheck, maybe every week, maybe every month. So you can build this war chest. So you have more money to spend for the con. The earlier you start, the better, as you know. You have to be proactive. You have to mix it up. So for those who have cash, great job, all right? Because not everyone accepts credit or debit cards. Some businesses will accept credit card at a minimum of a $10 purchase. Keep track of everything. Keep track of every cent and every dollar. I will teach you to be a little OCD, okay? It's very important. When you have that discipline and you monitor your time and you monitor your money, you will realize how much money is leaving you if you don't pay attention. So, always important to ask yourself, will you have enough money after the con? So, the reason why we're going to do the budget later on is this: will you have enough to eat or travel? Will you have enough for future cons? Will you have enough, God forbid something happens? Things happen. All right, I left my coat at home, and I was freezing. When I arrived, I had to buy almost a $300 coat in Atlantic City for a con. So we're all human, things happen, but always have money set aside, God forbid something happens. And some cons are free. 2 weeks ago, I went to a Philly Otaku Fest. It was a Cherry Street Pier, just about 15, 20 minutes away from here. It's amazing. Just because the cons are free doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to spend any money, because there's merch that you're going to buy. You're going to buy for food, you're going to buy for other things as well. And con extras may have some extra costs, particularly when you're on virtual cons. Okay, that's my planner that I have in my book bag over there. I write everything. See this down here? That's the amount of money I gained, and this is the money I spent. And this is all my scheduling for my panels. And this is back in, actually, I think 2019. So, you're gonna build the rough draft and outline, so you build your war chest. You go through all the expenses one by one, travel expense, hotel, etc. And if you're gonna go as a group, keep in mind the amount of money to spend per day, and always have money left over. This is one example for Anime Expo in Los Angeles. So this is another one where it's much more simpler. All right, so you can, if you like to do pen and paper, I tend to do it online as well. I do both. So did you know that Americans' total credit card balance is just credit card consumer debt is $1.13 trillion with a T, trillion dollars in 2023. Who knew that? You think it's more now? We're in May 2024. Who knows? It probably is. National average card debt among cardholders with unpaid balances was almost $7,000. Why? Why would you do this? We're gonna teach how to budget. Okay, so this is the first time I did a budget. It's an experiment. So I budgeted $900 for a con. So you can see here the badge is $50. That's fixed. My hotel, it was $193. That was my fix, and then they charged me. Showboat Hotel charged me extra. And we all make mistakes, but the most important thing, despite all these little mistakes, see, I went $5 over budget, $13 over budget. You want to stay below the 900. You want to always have money left over. If you don't have any more money left, you're screwed. And some people may say, "Oh, you have credit cards. Great. Credit cards are great." Yeah, there's nothing wrong with credit cards. Just make sure you pay everything on time. If you're not able to, and you're going to do the minimum monthly payment, try to pay a little bit more because the interest will get you. I am not kidding. If you don't pay in full fast enough, you'll actually spend more than what you originally would be spending. And I have to emphasize that over and over. So that's why, this is what I learned from my first budget with all the reds, that those extra fees, they're gonna get you. Okay? They're gonna get you. So I adjusted, and I spent a little bit less. Okay, my budget went a little bit lower, so I gave myself wiggle room, and I watched. And you'll see here that, okay, this badge is fine, this is fixed, I actually spent less for transportation. I give myself a little wiggle room just in case something happens. I spent less for food. I watched the merch and all that. All right, now, you don't have to follow how I budget. You can budget less money or more. It depends on you. It depends on how you want to take advantage of going to cons. So most cons, actually all of them should have a website by now where you can order tickets. But a lot of them will use the third-party sites. I think they have its own thing there for Fan Expo. And some cons will have different ways of getting them. But finding a place to stay, the earliest is your best bet, but always check your schedules. Always make sure that, when you do it, that you're sure that you're gonna do it, okay? It's one thing to do it early, but if you do it too early and something happens, sometimes it's non-refundable, sometimes you can't cancel, so make sure you get that free cancellation there. So shop around for hotels using different websites, so check for reviews, save money with hotel blocks if they provide them, and consider price, quality, and distance from the con. Just because it's closer to a con doesn't necessarily mean the quality is going to be the best, so you have to really do your research. And before booking, read the fine print. So there are cancellation fees, there's security deposit, there are fees, there's check-in, checkout times. Security deposits can actually vary from $50, I've seen $150, I've seen $200, it really depends on the hotel. I'm not gonna go too crazy on this one. There are many different sites. Use the sites that works for you. So I tend to use Cheap Tickets. There are so many websites. Don't use all of them. Use what works for you. Kayak looks at multiple websites. That's why I highlight it there. Who stayed at a hostel? How was it? What do you think about the hostel?
There were 20 people in one room.
Oh my goodness. I've never had 20 people in one room when I went to a hostel.
And I was alone, and it was a bachelor party.
Oh boy. I thought I had it bad. I did a hostel twice, but not 20 people. I think we had not even less than 10. And I was very paranoid. In the bathrooms, you've seen the bathrooms in the hostels, right? This one bathroom that I went to had 5 sinks and 5 really small shower rooms. I call them shower rooms, they're very small. It's like 5 shower rooms, so we're gonna see each other, well, I'm not gonna say the word. Oh, it's like, let me say this. To each of his or her, or its own or their own, because hostels are very cheap, but your privacy is kind of going to be compromised. So that's why we'll stick to hotels. But anyway, those are just some of the many options. There's Airbnb, so you stay in another person's home. Read the reviews, please. Always check. Always go through a vetting process. What I mean by that is check the reviews, call them, ask questions, if anything. Hotels and motels, you book your own, obviously you book your own room. Motels tend to be more on the cheaper side in my experience. I have friends who are staying at a Motel 6 to save money. There's more amenities in hotels, so your gyms, your restaurants, your pools, etc., and lounges. Which as long as they're clean and there's good service, you can choose whichever. All right. Always do your research. So as we talked about with hostels, so you share space with strangers, and it could be risky. And as you said, and as I said, we share bathrooms, bedrooms, and showers. So if you're an extrovert, it's great for you, but you have to monitor your belongings. I don't trust anyone at a hostel, so I'll keep all my stuff hiding. When I go to the bathroom, I grab all my stuff and I bring it with me to the bathroom. You have to bring your own soap, toothpaste, and all the other things, and your deodorant, and your soap, all that stuff. So this is just one example, and this is 3 years ago. So inflation has taken a hit ever since. So you could save as much as $200 like I did if you do your research. So after booking, call to verify it's reserved. Very, very important. All right. If you don't, you never know. But if you call right away, you can get it fixed right away and not deal with the situation I had to deal with 2 weeks ago, where there was no reservation, all because I did not call. Because usually I've been lucky. Check and help support patrons be safe, and find if they have a bag or a coat check, free one, okay, especially when you're gonna arrive super early. And that's important, so you don't have to carry your luggage everywhere you go, especially in a con like this with over 50,000 people. Imagine using that to ram a few other people. That's pretty rude. And then online content, you need to have Wi-Fi. A lot of times they use Discord for this. So if one or more people will room with you, you have to find out who you're gonna invite and know who you're inviting. You wanna know these friends, okay? I create a group chat. All right, background check everyone, determine who the leader is. So the leader is the one who's gonna book it, and the leader is gonna be the one who's going to be paying all of it and collecting the payments from each person. So you're gonna divvy up, you're gonna evenly split the cost of the room. All right, and communication is key. Sometimes there may be bad self-service, particularly in cons with a lot of people, because everyone's using social media, everyone's going on Instagram Live, TikTok Live, Facebook Live, and it's eating up the bandwidth. All right, so get the cell numbers. So even if you have 5G, it's not gonna work, all because everyone's using the internet, everyone's using the transmission towers. Evenly split the cost of the room. Okay, so whose hotel room's like this? Do you want your hotel room like this? No. All right, what's wrong with this room?
It's a mess.
Why is it a mess? What do you want changed? Everything. Okay, this is our hotel room. So one of my friends and I and 2 other people, we stayed here. Of course, it's a little bit better, but we need the floor clear so no one can trip and fall and hurt themselves. And that's number 1. Number 2, I think we had one friend who slept on the floor, I think. So we have to clear that. Okay, so every time I get a room and I'm gonna have multiple people, I have my ground rules. The first rule, emphasize the rules. So we wanna make that clear before we get to the nitty-gritty, that you gotta listen to it. Rules are not rules if you don't follow it. So you have to be clean and neat and avoid making a mess. You don't eat on the bed, for example, okay? You have to clean up after yourselves. And no eating as I said, no eating on the bed. When you put your stuff there, put in one corner. That's what I did. If you put everywhere and have a mess like this, you're gonna be spending so much time looking for your stuff, and you're gonna be late in your checkout, for example, and then you may pay for another night. We don't want that. So try to put everything in one spot. Keep the noise level down. Respect the people around you and the people in other rooms. Be mindful of other guests and keep alcohol to minimum. For those under 21, no alcohol, please. So you gotta be respectful, courteous, and polite. Do your homework. Research the area of the con. There's actually tomorrow. There's going to be a Broad Street run. There's going to be some kind of a running event tomorrow. So who drives here? So watch out, you're gonna get into traffic tomorrow if you're gonna come tomorrow for Fan Expo. So if possible, take, it's Sunday. Yeah, if you come on Sunday, So if you come on Sunday, okay, even better. So it's one day, okay. Okay, wipe my sweat off, okay. I'm from New York City. Driving, forget it. We take subway. I know the subway here is not as good here in the Philly area, but you know, to avoid the parking headaches, I just suggest public transit. Also, watch out for the buses as well, particularly during that Sunday, as they may make some detours or some route changes. So research the area of the con. So weather. So would you show up with a short sleeves at 30-degree weather? Would you do it? Probably not. Some people would. So who watches My Hero Academia? All right, so I was only one of you, okay. So I was in Anime Expo. I was in Los Angeles. It was 112 degrees outside. I was in long sleeves and long pants, and I had a long-haired wig. I was Aizawa, so think about that. Water will be your best friend. So it didn't fit, but I didn't care. I'm gonna go for it. But if you're gonna go for it, you're gonna roll the dice, okay? So safety first. Transportation is not just getting around, but not getting there, but also getting around as well, so in case you're gonna go anywhere. Points of interest, essentials, so pharmacy. So if you get sick, you can actually go to maybe a doctor's office or urgent care. If you ran out of supplies or you need something from the art store, if a cosplay broke or something, you can use that. Obviously, places to eat and drink. It's not too crazy, you can just walk, so you don't have to worry about that. And you can use other websites like YouTube or like these travel guides. So, very important, I cannot emphasize enough that you have to look around the area. So that's how you're gonna do it. I know it sounds very obvious, but take a few minutes to do that. Same thing with here. So always get the maps for the con. And you'll see here that's, and when it comes to these maps, it's very important, especially for me as an autistic, especially for those who have limited mobility issues and those who have physical disabilities. Strategize, always strategize. Know where the bathroom is. So circle where the bathroom is, where the elevators are, or the escalators if you're able to be on the escalator. So if you're in a wheelchair, know where the elevators are in case something happens. So in other cons like this, know where the ATM is if you need cash. Know where guest services tends to be here in this area. Accessibility services in that area. There's support groups like crew in yellow shirts in the area as I was going through the con prior to the panel. So it's very important to have your maps and label it, all right, and strategize. So in case something happens, so let's say you had food poisoning and something happened, at least you know where the bathrooms are. So continue with transportation. It's very important to budget extra time. All right, so very, very important so you can give yourself wiggle room so you don't get stressed out. If possible, look for good deals. So I believe Tuesday is one of the days where you can find cheaper flights, but always monitor. And familiarize with schedules, very important. And know where the gates, platform tracks, etc. are. I had two friends who went on a train to go to North Jersey, and instead they missed a stop and they went to Central Jersey. And the two people who were going to pick them up had to travel 45 minutes and then to pick them up and then travel another 45 minutes when it could have been 30 minutes if they took the right transfer. Things can happen. And as I said, Google Maps is good, Apple Maps is good, but it's not the only tool. You gotta really dig deep into it. So research different ways, Well, I tend to have electronic and paper just to be safe, and monitor frequently. Okay, so if you do your homework, you can save money, all right? But that is, if you plan ahead. Flying is expensive, but it's a little stressful, but it's the fastest. So always shop around for deals, book early, and fly in the least busy time if possible, and bring all your important documents and ID. May 7, 2025, that's the deadline to get something called a real ID as opposed to a fake ID, okay? In some states, it'll be called the enhanced ID. It'll have a circle with a star on it. So you'll need that to fly domestically. If not, you're gonna need a passport. And research on what the carrier checked, so props, medical device, liquids, etc. Unfortunately, according to the TSA, peanut butter is a liquid. I don't understand why. 4 ounces is your limit, around there. And arrive at a gate 2 to 3 hours before departure. So, yes, you have a question?
Well, I have something to tell you regarding research on what to carry or check. If any of you carry a Swiss card, it's that little card that has scissors and all that stuff. Nowadays, they're taking things. They took my nail file just on Thursday.
No way.
It's about this big. And it comes in the Swiss card, so yes, be careful what you're carrying.
Yes, thank you for bringing it up. I used to carry a nail clipper, so I really have to watch out. Ugh. I appreciate it, thank you. Oh, let's see. Okay, so I love trains and buses. I actually like those better than planes. If I want to go to Boston from here, I'm not flying. So it's cheaper, yet it's time consuming, so you still have to prepare your itineraries. Unlike arriving 2 to 3 hours, you can arrive just 30, 60 minutes. Some people will just arrive a little sooner, but no, give yourself 30 minutes. Simply because, just for wiggle room. For those who need accommodations, go more towards the 60 minutes. And we already know about the documents part. And if your distance is less than 250 miles, it really depends. It's up to you. I wouldn't recommend flying, but it's up to you. Public transportation, I know, that's not, in New York, I know it's not the cleanest, Philly is not the cleanest, but it's cheaper, it's easier, it's more frequent compared to taking the flying or commuter rail, but actually commuter rail is still good. Study the maps and schedules and know how to pay the fare. So always have different ways or itineraries to get around. Driving, there's more freedom unless you're stuck in traffic. But if you travel, please get the car checked. Okay, bring it to the doctor's office. I mean, the car repair shop, just in case. Yeah, just like going to the doctor's office. So take a break every 1 to 3 miles, 1 to 3 hours, 1 to 3 miles. I went too fast. Okay, every 1 to 3 hours, take a break, or 100 miles. Gotta stretch your legs. All right. So carpooling, gotta divvy up, gotta split the costs for the gas, wear and tear, the tolls and tips, and so on. Driver chooses the music. Driver needs to stay awake. What happens if the driver doesn't stay awake? I'll let you guess. I love being a cosplayer, so con crunching is not advised, but we tend to do it anyway. Research the dress code and weapons policy, which we'll get into pretty quickly, and plan out how you want to put the cosplay together. So you got to have your goals and objectives. Start with what you have first, okay, before you buy. You gather the stuff, you consider the weather, and then also make it comfortable, okay? So we're here to have fun, okay? Always wear cosplay where your safety and your comfort goes first, okay? Who cares what other people say about your cosplay if it's negative? Especially the ones who are not wearing cosplay. Okay? Just ignore them, okay? If you're happy with your own cosplay, that's what matters, right? Always cost test. Do you want a wardrobe malfunction in the public? No. So, research the weapon and prop policy because it changes for each con. It may change for next year. You never know. All right. I had someone bring a dull metal prop, and it was confiscated at Anime NYC. So each con and venue can have your own set of rules and may subject to change. And you have to exercise good judgment and consider the materials used, such as those metals. Live weapons not recommended. So how will you carry transport them? Some people, especially with big props, if they want to go across the country, they'll ship it at a different carrier. It's very complicated. So, I wouldn't recommend that. That's a lot of hassle, but it's up to you. All right. Usually when I carry my props, I cover them in in some kind of a sleeve. So I was Giyu from Demon Slayer. He has a sword. I covered in a sleeve. So this is me over here as Giyu. This is actually EVA foam. This is not real metal. So if it looks dangerous, don't expose it. You put it in a sleeve, for example. So there is a prop check outside at the entrance. Go there first. If it passes, it'll be tagged. If it fails, you can't go in without putting it somewhere in the hotel room, maybe in the car or whatnot. So it needs to be disabled or tethered to the costume or whichever. So if you have a gun, for example, put something to block it. Make sure you can't pull a trigger. All right, so you have to disable them. Use caution with sharp, pointy objects and handle with care when carrying around them. And safety first. So if you have cosplays where it has wings, for example, you have to be mindful of other people's boundaries and spaces, and you have to be careful with your cosplay as well. No explosives, no pyrotechnics, no smoke, no bubbles. Why no bubbles? Why did I put that there? Does anyone know? Yes. That's right. What else? Yes, what else? Does it get in your cosplay? Will it damage your cosplay? I don't know. So if someone puts paint in there and then the bubbles get in there, it may affect the cosplay. So be careful. Don't be surprised if any item gets confiscated. If the con sees something suspicious or whatnot, they will confiscate it whenever they want to. So be prepared. I had a stapler be confiscated at Anime Expo. A stapler. I had a pepper spray confiscated. I had a mace confiscated. So please be careful. Please go over the guidelines. Week before the con, got to prepare everything. Check your checklists, clothes, costumes. Do not carry more than you're able to. Download the app. I download the Fan Expo app. It's actually much better than going to the website. And get your travel itinerary. These are the different things to bring. I actually see a Nintendo Switch here, so if that's what you want to do, go for it. It doesn't have to be all this. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you prepared. I have 3 battery packs. I have a lot of wires. I have a tripod. I got my phone. I got my planner. I got my water bottle in there. Actually, they provided water, free water for us. So it's very important to be prepared. Also, your deodorant. Okay, some people will be smelly. For those who are first-time con-goers, be aware of it. Okay, don't be part of it. Okay, take a shower before you come to the con. Please, I beg of you. All right. So bring your medications, your phones and charger, your battery packs. All right, your toothbrush, toothpaste. Leave that in your hotel room. All right, always in your carry your wallet with your cash, as most of you have. All right, bring your documents. Bring your insurance card just in case. All right. Food and water, as I said, pen, pencil, paper, planner, etc. Cosplay repair kit. So that's an option if you want to do that. So you can have scissors, maybe safety pins, bobby pins, etc. So COVID's still going on, but we're going to talk just a teeny bit. Okay, the public health emergency ended last year, May 11th. So even though there may be for the most part, restrictions are loosened, but there may be some cons out there. It's not that many right now. They're being very serious about it. So check their websites regularly. So as of March 1st, 2024, there is a new COVID guidance when it comes to isolating. So if you're tested positive, you isolate until fever-free. And what they mean by is not using medications like Tylenol or ibuprofen. And the symptoms are improving for 24 hours. If the symptoms come back, we restart, you isolate, and we start over again. For the next 5 days after being fever-free, you wear a mask, be in a ventilated area, and limit contact. So retest, very important. You still have to wash your hands. You still have to clean surfaces, and you still have to cover your coughs and your sneezes. You do it on your elbow. You do it on your elbow. So, don't have, if you see someone do this, oh, my name is Dean, nice to meet you. Don't do, stay away from them. Stay away from them. If they sneeze on their hands and they want to shake hands with you, stay away from them. I'm sorry. Anyway, I was joking just a little bit, but it's very important that you cover, all right? Always, but don't cover with your hands, you cover with your elbow. So layer of protection, so multiple layers of protection will reduce the spread. So it could be vaccination, it could be masks, it could be washing your hands, it could be limiting crowds, social distancing, and ventilation, and all that. So this is what we call the Swiss cheese model. So no one method of protection is 100%, but if you put them all together in that many layers, you have reduced the risk of getting exposed. So many diseases. So we're watching the flu and influenza. There's an H5N1 avian or bird flu out there somewhere. So watch out for that. RSV is there, common cold. In addition to COVID, there's, as I said, RSV. There's norovirus, so that's your stomach bug or your stomach flu. There was an outbreak earlier this year about that, which I'll go over just pretty quickly. So it's a contagious stomach virus that causes nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Other symptoms would be body aches, dehydration, fever, and these symptoms occur about 12 to 48 hours after exposure, but it resolves in 1 to 3 days. You need to drink a lot of fluids. It's very important, fluids, and rest as well. So it spreads via contaminated food, water surfaces, and of course, people. So prevention, you gotta wash your hands for at least 28 seconds. You gotta wash your foods properly. Clean, disinfect surfaces, wash clothing with hot water, cook thoroughly, and discard foods or drinks if it's exposed, if you think it's exposed to norovirus. If you're infected, please don't handle food. Also, hand sanitizers don't work. You gotta wash your hands, okay? No medication or vaccines are gonna treat norovirus, so it's a self-limiting disease. So you stay home, isolate, and rest. And as I said, drink a lot of fluids. And I cannot emphasize enough hygiene, all right? Mask and courage, take a shower every day, take a shower before you come here, brush your teeth. I don't wanna smell your bad breath, okay? Get some Listerine and call it a day. Wash your hands and bring hand sanitizer and make sure your clothes are clean. Now you arrive at the con. Arrive super early, get your badges to beat the lines, all right? Stay hydrated as always, and always find the bag and coat check. And reevaluate where you want to go on the schedule. If there's something you think there's going to be a lot of people, so prioritize, very important. If you have events that with potentially long lines, try to get there maybe an hour early. Do not overschedule, because if you overschedule, you may burn out. Okay, the goal of coming to cons like this one is to have fun. All right, so leave gaps for breathing room, and have backup alternative plans just in case. So this con has everything basically. So splurge alert, you know. So we're going to be in a budget. We're going to watch out how much we're spending, right? So dealer's room and artist alley. So you can spend, it's fine, but you gotta watch what you're spending. Autographs, same thing. So there's panels, photo shoots, concerts, dances, all that stuff. So when you go make a purchase, you ask yourself why you're here, how do you feel? Do you need this, you want this, how is this gonna work? What if I wait? Maybe you'll still be there, maybe it's a lower price. How do I pay for it? Does it fit in my budget? That's the most important question you're gonna ask yourself. And where will you put it? Who's heard of the 631 or 621 rule? Great, okay, so that means 6 or more hours of sleep per day, 2 to 3 meals a day, it's actually 1 shower or bath a day. So, it's not or, you do all 3. Okay, so I have a friend who sleeps only 3 hours, had a Red Bull, and didn't shower. Okay, and this person's a zombie. All right, don't do this to yourself, please. Your health goes first, okay? When you have fun and you're risking yourself just to have fun, it's not gonna be worth it if you're not feeling well. So it's very important to manage all of that time, money, energy, manage your anxiety. Again, the goal here is to have fun and be positive. So keep your schedule realistic, balanced, flexible, and be prepared for change and cancellation. I was a little upset that Mario Lopez couldn't make it, but you know, there are other people out there. So have breathing room in between events, as I said. Add alarms, but not too many alarms, then you'll get numb to it. Wear comfortable shoes. It doesn't always match my cosplay, but you know what? At least it allows me to walk as much as possible. And I said, over and over again, keep track of your time and money. If you need to rest and relax, always look for quiet, safe spaces. So we talked about maps, so try to look for those. So take a step back and breathe whenever you get overwhelmed and whatnot. Who's heard of spoon theory? I'm a spoonie myself. So, in short, this person who made this is Christine Mistrangino. She had lupus, so it measures stamina. So when you rest, you get spoons. If you do an activity, you lose spoons. For some people, when they get into a social activity, they gain spoons. For some people, such as those in my condition, they tend to lose spoons when they get into social activity. So everyone's different. So it's measured by spoons. It's not about, okay, teaspoon, tablespoon, it's just spoons, like $5. So I spent $5. Oh, I spent 5 spoons on doing this activity. And unit of energy is measured by spoons, as I said. So run out of spoons early, you're gonna use it from tomorrow. So everyone has different stamina, levels of stamina. So you can start with 20, I start at 100, and then you can go from there. Same activity does not equal same cost of spoons. So it varies within each person. And you may not start the day with 100% of spoons if you have pre-existing conditions or if you don't get enough sleep. So that's just an example. So maybe 4 spoons will be driving. Maybe if you eat, it's 2 spoons. They're different. That's just an example of the guidelines here. When you have spoons, you have forks. And unlike spoons, forks can have different sizes. So that's your stressors. So if you have a little fork and it'll hit you and you get stressed, you can recover quickly. But the bigger they are, the longer it takes for you to recover. So you're gonna hear this a lot, but you don't have to use forks, you don't have to use spoons, that's just an option. The common one used are spoons. There are also these other cutlery drawers here, which we're not gonna go too much because it's not used too often. Usually these 2 are used. So etiquette, cosplay is never, never, never consent. Keep your hands to yourself and be respectful and polite. And always ask permission when you do certain things like photos, recording, poses, greetings. Okay, don't do surprise or sneak attacks. Don't glomp on me, for example. I got glomped and my wig came off. We don't want that. Be careful with other people's possessions of costumes. And if they say no, it's okay. Don't get upset. If you don't feel comfortable, what do you say? If you don't get comfortable, if you feel uncomfortable, if someone wants to take a picture, what do you say? No. Okay, so don't feel forced to say yes, okay? So if someone's harassing you, safety address the behavior, tell them it's wrong to do it, ignore and stay away from the person and be with a group of friends. This happens, take a picture of the person, report this con staff, con ops, or the security, or the police. Boundaries are very important, so they'll lead to that. You have to advocate yourself, and you can't let anyone take advantage of you, and you're not obligated to anyone's favors or interests. If you feel uncomfortable, what do you say? No. What's your Instagram? If you don't feel comfortable, you say, can I hug you? Can I touch this? Can I touch that? Can I take a photo of this? I have a drink for you, want it? Good, good. Can you do me a favor? Can you do this errand for me? No. It's very important, okay? We're here to have fun. We don't want anyone taking advantage of you. Who used the buddy system? All right, buddy system is where at least 2 people are responsible for each other's safety. You can have more than that. You can have one person actually watching over other people. I did this with a friend of mine in Katsukan, so another con in the Washington, D.C. area. So very important to know your strengths, weaknesses, and limits of your friends and yourself. And you have to check each other. So one example is, did you eat breakfast this morning? Did you take a break? Did you rest a bit? And the other stuff are, you can tell them, hey, I'm tired, I just need a moment, this and that. So communication is going to be very important. And especially when you're separated and you're going to different panels or different photo shoots, for example. At the end of the day, it's very important to have a meetup spot, a common meetup spot once everyone's done for the day. All right, and if your buddy becomes a danger or to oneself or others, you have to get help ASAP. So etiquette also, in addition to that, do not block moving traffic, do not do photo shoots or meetups away from high traffic areas, very important. Respect other people's space and be alert of your surroundings. And cosplay judging is only for contests, okay? No one's perfect, right? You can agree or disagree, but if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, okay? So cosplay is an art. We all have different ways to cosplay. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Fine, okay. So give suggestions on how to improve. So if they don't want suggestions or criticism, don't say anything, okay? If you don't have to love or hate a cosplay, so not everyone's a pro, okay? I'm not a pro. I just bought it on Amazon, all right? And that's okay. Buying cosplays or making your own are okay, as long as you dress up in a safe manner. Okay, and you don't do blackface. Please don't do that. Do not do blackface. Please. All right, but you can do this. You can be Team Rocket and join the Akatsuki. That's good. You can be half Naruto, half Sasuke, or you can choose one of 12 different Sasukes. So networking is very important, so especially if you want to maybe get into voice acting, want to be in the entertainment industry. Also, if you can use networking as a way to exchange info and ideas, like what we're doing right now. So be respectful and honest and straightforward, as always, and ask of others about cosplays and interests. For example, share your passions. Also, I'm on Instagram, Wild Goldine, if you have any questions or whatnot. So, as an autistic, I sometimes have trouble with communication, so I always practice with a friend. You can have a script, take notes, keep some notes, and when you're networking, if a person doesn't want to befriend you, just let it go, okay? And as I said many times, don't take advantage of anyone. Don't let anyone take advantage of you. Plus, don't blow up my phone, all right? Please don't, all right? Don't blow up anyone's phone. So sharing common interests is one of your networking tips. You can go to online forums and groups. You can have similar icebreakers, like what's your favorite show, your favorite character, your favorite actor, this kind of thing. You can also do compliments as well. There are many, you can network basically anywhere, as you can see there. And social media, oh, it's been toxic, isn't it, right? Now, be careful what you share, very important. You always have to think about the consequences and or benefits of posting things. So why are you doing this? What's your motive? Always keep it clean and respectful, because if you don't, you're court of public opinion is gonna get you, and we don't want that, all right? Please don't post misinformation, disinformation, or toxicity. Always check your facts. Always check everything first before you post it. And no shaming, of course. Who lost an item? I lost an item at a con. All right, so things happen. This happened last year. I lost my hat at Anime Boston. So I had to do some searching. When you lose something, don't panic, you relax, take a deep breath. Easier said than done. I know that. So cons and venues have lost and found places. That's why you go to the maps and always look for one. If you're not sure, go to guest services, go to the info desk as well. So check your bags, pockets, jackets, and identify where you last saw it, then expand. If you don't remember, list the place you usually see it. What were you feeling or thinking when you last saw it? Retrace your steps, look carefully and thoroughly, and go through all the places where you had the item, and ask other people as well. And how to avoid losing things. This is where I'll teach you to be a little OCD. Keep it in the same or familiar place. So if you remember back then, when you bring the stuff in, when you're entering the hotel room, that's why you put everything in one place. Write down where you're putting things. Say the location out loud. My laptop's in front of me. My backpack is on the other side of the table. Make them stand out. Take pictures. So use Apple AirTag if you keep misplacing your keys. Stay calm and be kind and forgive yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Con parties and dances. So 21 plus, limit alcohol intake. So whatever you do, so alcohol is only for 21 and older. Limit. Okay, do not mix alcohol with other medications. That's not good. Don't do illicit drugs, no smoking or vaping. I know pot for most states is legal. I don't care. You have to be aware. You have to be mindful of other people around you. Full meal after partying, because if you drink a little too much, at least it'll slow the absorption. Stay hydrated and don't give in to peer pressure. Walk away from negativity if you see any. If you don't feel comfortable, you just separate. That's it. Go with friends, take it easy, don't overdo it, and get your own drinks. And we know why you get your own drinks. If you get it from other people, you never know what that person put in something in there. All right, this is only for the adults. For alcohol. All right. So, yes, so limit alcohol intake to 1 to 2 glasses a day. What's a glass? I'll explain what a glass is. All right, so one glass is about 0.6 ounces. So it's a little more than a tablespoon of pure alcohol. So one example, a few examples here is 12 ounces of beer, if a beer is 5% or 10 proof. 5 ounces of wine, assuming that it's 12%. I've seen, I think, I forgot which, I think it was Hennessy, I think that's 20, I think it's 40% if I'm not mistaken. Okay, the 1.5 ounce shot, so 40%. Those are all equivalent to one glass. Women is one glass. If you're pregnant or nursing, and if you're taking medications, 0, goose egg. For men, maximum is 2. All right, so be careful with what you're drinking, how much. So who gets no alcohol? Obviously, under 21. Those who are pregnant and nursing or might be pregnant. Designated drivers. Those who are taking medication that interact with alcohol. Those with health conditions, especially cirrhosis or anything with the liver issues. Those with alcohol use disorders. Whether it's active or recovering, and those who can't control their drinking, obviously, they have to stay away. So this one is a chart, don't memorize it, just know the trends that the more alcohol you drink, and if you're at a lower weight, if you're skinnier, you're more sensitive to the amount of alcohol you're going to get in, to drink. So Canada, if you're going to go to a con in Canada, so they have different guidelines. 1 to 2 standard drinks per week, not per day. So the US may implement, I don't know yet, we'll find out. All right, so far it's still 1 to 2 per day, depending on, if you're a man, if you're a woman, that kind of thing. After the con, so if possible, attend a feedback session or panel, if there is. And always email them. They have their contact section. Just go through the website. Maintain contact info and keep in touch. Share your pics and positive experiences and plans for the next event. So I've gotten post-con blues and depression. It happens, it's normal. All right, focus on something positive. Talk with your friends and family. Don't stretch yourself too thin, okay? Diet and exercise is very important. I always plan for another con. I always want to have something to look forward to. When you attend one con, you're going to want to attend another con, and another one, and another one. And that's where you really have to watch your budget, and you have to watch yourself too. Because there's only so much energy you have, there's only so much money you have, there's only so much time you have to attend multiple cons. All right, and private cosplay meetups, some of my friends have done that. There is a BetterHelp app by licensed therapists, so you can get unlimited text with video phone calls and group sessions with a fee. And con crud, which we're going to talk about. I promise we're going to talk about this one. So you get sick during or after a con. It could be different illnesses, and it's more commonly the cold or flu or other respiratory illnesses. And it could be due to poor hygiene, sleep, diet, etc. Especially when you're dealing with large crowded confined space and being exposed with a lot of people. Okay, so your immune system gets compromised. Always get tested for COVID too. So what do we do with con crud? Rest and fluids. Obviously no alcohol. Rest and fluids, very important. And if you have pain or fever, Tylenol or acetaminophen, your maximum daily dose for adults is 3,000 milligrams. That's about 6 tablets of 500 milligrams. That's your maximum strength. All right. Ibuprofen, which is found in Advil and Motrin, among other products, is also for pain and fever. It's generally a little stronger. You take with food, all right? And those with kidney issues, you really have to watch out for that, all right? And your maximum daily dose for ibuprofen is 3,200 milligrams, all right? You don't want to go to that amount, all right? And you only use it as needed for those. Excedrin, used for headache, it could have Tylenol as well, so watch out for that. Cough drops, I always carry them. Vitamin C and D for your immune system. Vitamin D can also be used for bones, and it could be also for mood as well. So if you're dealing with motion sickness, there's Dramamine, there's Meclizine. Guaifenesin, dextromethorphan, that's found in Robitussin DM, the Mucinex DM, and other cold products. So your guaifenesin is your what we call wet coughs, your productive coughs with the mucus and all that. Dextromethorphan is for the drier coughs. And antihistamine, so it's allergy season, everyone's sneezing and all that. So there's Benadryl, but it'll knock you out. There's also Claritin, which is loratadine, Zyrtec, cetirizine, Allegra, or fexofenadine. those are some of the choices we have here. All right, so we're almost there. Take-home messages. So it's very important to plan early and be organized. So always have a budget, always save enough money as well. Be proactive, don't spend a lot, be positive, have fun. Very important, that's the first thing, in addition to watching your spending and watching how you spend your time. Anyone can cosplay, okay? It's also a place to make friends, and your health is important, as I said many, many times. It's very important to respect each other and to stay nerdy, because nerds make the world go round, okay? We're the ones with all the brain power, all right? And don't spread any diseases, okay? Don't, like COVID, all right? If you're eligible, get vaccinated. And I want to thank all of you for coming. I know it's a lot of slides and it's a lot of information, but we have about 3 minutes left, so if you have any questions or if you have any comments or suggestions. Yes, go ahead.
I have a question about what you mentioned earlier in the conversation, like mace and everything.
Yes.
So, some people don't always travel around the city or like to carry extra equipment to travel around the city at night, especially when it's dangerous. Do you usually get those back after the con, or do they take them away and you come back?
That's a very good question. For most of the cons, they tend not to give it back to you. All right, what I suggest, and this one may not, it depends with the cons. All right, I know for this con, just hide it, and just put it in, if you have somewhere inside the bag that has another zipper in there, you can just put it there. There are cons where they have magnometers or scanners, so they may catch that, so that's something to bring. I would bring it up with maybe an email. I would email them and say, you know, can we carry it? Is there exceptions to it? Maybe you can do that when you're going and you're heading towards like metal detectors. So I know for here, they checked my bag, they just went in. So as long as you hide it there, you know, just keep it there for now. All right, does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, and that concludes. We actually ended on time. So if you have any other questions, I'm on Instagram. I'm Wildgoldean, WILDGOLDEAN. It's not DEEN, it's DEAN. I have people tell me it's Wild Golden. It is not Wild Golden. There is an A there. And I want to give a shout out to La Jazzy Red for actually going through the slides, especially the beginning versions of it. So I want you all to have a great time. And if you have any questions, let me know. All right. I hope you all find this helpful. And now you're all con experts. Thank you.